Sarah, I'm Charles Trevor. I'm a consultant at the moment and I'm doing a little bit of work for Accsys. And my background is that I've been in the timber industry for about 20 years and I've been mainly involved with marketing and promotion of wood from a generic perspective. So basically peddling the message that wood is the best building material to use. How I got into the timber industry was actually by accident. I was working for the Canadian government in London and I was asked if I'd like to learn about forest products and timber. And my immediate reaction was no, I wouldn't like to learn about forest products and timber, and it was put to me that it would be a good idea if I did, because if I didn't I wouldn't have a job. So I learnt about timber from the ground up, and I think it's fair to say that I was hooked from the very first moment that I heard about what was going on in British Columbia and how they harvested and marketed wood. I then went to be the director of the Nordic Timber Council in the UK, and from there to be the managing director of Wood for Good, which was the UK's timber promotion campaign. And so I was there responsible for developing television ads and press ads extolling the virtues of timber.
Tell me what you think the major issues are in the wood industry.
I think one of the major issues, Sarah, is the fact that the wood industry has always underspent on promotion and marketing. It's understood the need for promotional and marketing spend, but it hasn't actually committed the necessary time and human and financial resources to that effort. Wood for Good went a fair way towards helping to promote timber generically, but basically spend by timber industry, timber companies, has been very limited in comparison to other competing materials like concrete and steel. Part of the problem is that timber, the wood industry is a very fragmented industry. It's not like concrete where you have very large companies, or steel where you have companies like porous, for example. So it's very difficult to get consensus and unanimity amongst timber companies as to how they should spend the promotional money at their disposal. You tend to have companies which have relatively small critical mass, small timber and door companies, for example, pallet manufacturers, even timber frame companies in comparison to steel and concrete companies are very small. So that's the principal problem as I see it.
And how do you think these issues are best tackled?
I think they're best tackled on a pan-industry level, and I'm glad to see that the Wood for Good campaign is being relaunched actually during EcoBuild. And the will to actually promote timber in an effective and practical way, and that basically means promoting the fact that it is the most sustainable building material, is the way I think in which the timber industry can most successfully compete, and it is in competition with products in the concrete and steel industries.
And what are your thoughts on Accoya woods?
I've recently become aware of Accoya as an interesting new timber product, which is both an engineered wood product and has had value added to it. I think one of the problems with the industry has been that it hasn't been terribly good at adding value to pieces of timber. They've been only too content, most timber companies, to sell timber as pieces of 2x4 timber and not actually adding any value to them. What Accoya has managed to do very successfully is to engineer a wood product and to make it more stable, durable, and a much more effective material for making things like windows, doors, decking, cladding out of. So I think it's got to be the way of the future, frankly, and I'm very excited by the fact that Accoya is really making a big marketing push. I suppose I would say that as a marketing man, but I've been impressed by the way that Accoya has really grabbed the opportunity to market its products and continues to market its products extremely effectively in the UK and throughout the rest of Europe.